This video is brought to you by SoccerPro.com, bringing you everyday low prices with no membership fees. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive $10 off any order of $100 or more.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Magista Opus in the new Shine Through colorway. Now inside the box, as you get with all the top-end models from Nike, a string bag is included. This particular string bag is white in color with black strings. On the front, you're going to find a single black Nike swoosh, and on the back, you're going to find your black Nike football branding. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and take a closer look at what I consider to be one of the most underrated shoes to be released in 2014, which is interesting to say because this is actually a Nike shoe, and of course I'm talking about the Nike Magista Opus. Now in today's video, we're going to of course take a closer look at the new Shine Through Pack colorway, talk about the tech specs and the overall performance of the Opus, as well as talk about how these things fit and feel. So if you're interested in any of that, if you want to learn more about the Nike Magista Opus, stick around, and with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's talk about the colorway. Now of course this is part of Nike's Shine Through Pack, so it features a white upper. In comparison to the rest of the pack though, this definitely has more of a standard white as opposed to a pearl white. You can see it does have that pearl effect on the kind of rim of the shoe as well as the rear portion, where it does have that synthetic leather grain finish, but the majority of the upper does have that kind of very fine gritty texturing to it, which does not allow for that pearl white finish. And of course the underside, which is the performance mesh base layer that is see-through in between the cutouts, is also solid white. You can't have a pearl white mesh material. The laces are white, the tongue is pearl. So again, visually very simple, very clean looking color. Because you do have the exposed mesh on the actual upper, these will get dirty very, very quickly and will be very difficult to clean because of the actual mesh. Once that mesh gets dirty, it's pretty much going to be permanently dirty. So if you're worried about your shoes looking dirty really quickly, this is definitely not the colorway for you. As far as other details on the shoe are concerned, you're going to find your black ACC branding and black Nike swoosh there on the tongue. The heel liner and insole is also black in color. And then of course the Shine Through Pack colorways all feature their own unique color to the actual Nike swoosh and sole plate. The swoosh itself is a black outline with a total orange base and your poison green graphic on top. The two colors wouldn't normally go together, orange and green, but it actually looks pretty good on the shoe. You can see you have that on both sides. On the back, you're going to find your black Magista branding, and of course the sole plate and studs themselves are poison green in color. You have a lighter green and a slightly darker green, and the tips of the studs are translucent in color, as you guys can see. So very simple looking color scheme. Really big fan of how these things look. Unfortunately, they will be very, very difficult to keep clean, so please keep that in mind if you are planning on picking these up. Leave your opinions on them down below in the comments. Do you like this colorway? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs of the shoe so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Magista Opus really is a fantastic shoe. The reason why I said it's underrated is because it was released alongside the Nike Magista Obra, which is of course the mid-cut Flyknit variation in the Magista line. Both the Opus and the Obra are top-end models, but very, very different in terms of what they have to offer. And because of the unique styling and design of the Obra, like I said, it's really seen the majority of the attention. Now, if you guys want more details on the overall performance of the Magista Opus, I'll leave a link down below in the description to the review page on my website where you guys can check out the written review, all kinds of details there. I'll also leave several annotations on screen to my playtest video of the Opus, as well as several comparison videos that I have with this particular shoe, including my comparison with the aforementioned Magista Obra. So if you want to see the difference between the two top-end Magista models, again, annotation will be left on screen. So as far as what you're getting here is the unofficial Maestri 4. The CTR 360 line was replaced by the Magista line, and this is, in my opinion, what essentially would have been the Maestri 4. It features a Kangalite upper, the only Nike shoe left to feature that synthetic material on the upper, but in comparison to the Maestri 3, it's a lot more slimmed down. So you have a Kangalite synthetic upper with kind of this honeycomb cutouts in the actual upper itself, which definitely looks similar to what you're going to find in the Flyknit upper of the Magista Obra, but it actually feels completely different on this particular shoe, despite how it may look. So because of all these cutouts, it's very thin, it's very very, very flexible, and you still get that slightly padded leather-like sensation that you would expect from Kangalite, but because of all these cutouts and the new base layer of performance mesh, which kind of fills in the gaps, you just get a very, very soft, lightweight, thin, and more natural sensation that you got from the Maestri 3, which was a shoe that I was personally a really, really big fan of. So if you really like the Maestri 3, you're probably going to like the Magista Opus as well. It's soft, it provides that nice leather-like sensation due to the Kangalite synthetic, and again, it just provides a really nice natural feel for the ball, even though it is actually a synthetic upper as opposed to being made from natural leather. Now, all the areas here that are solid white as opposed to pearl white have, like I mentioned earlier, a slightly gritty sensation to it. So while it doesn't have any rubber elements like we saw on all of the previous Maestri models, you still get a little bit of additional grip on the ball. It certainly doesn't feel slick or anything like that. And again, it's just a unique sensation that you really can't feel unless you actually use the shoe. And of course, it does have your ACC all conditions control acting as your wet control element as well. So you actually get pretty decent grip on the ball in wet playing conditions. Now, of course, this does have the same lacing system that we saw from the CTR 360 line, where the laces are pushed more to the medial side as opposed to being down the middle or down the lateral side of the shoe. I'm just making for a nice comfortable fit and a cleaner touch on this area of the foot. No real obstructions or any kind of extra material, which is really, really nice. It does have the low cut in the heel as opposed to the mid cut of the Magista Obra. Your external plastic heel counter, as you guys can see. The heel liner is a synthetic leather on the sides and then a perforated synthetic leather at the very back with a decent amount of padding, so step-in comfort is not an issue whatsoever. The insole is fully removable. It features a mesh liner on top, perforations throughout, and it's pretty much the same as what you're going to find on the top-end Magista Obra, a single layer of this yellow foam. Nothing too fancy, but enough to get the job done, of course. And then, of course, you do have the one-piece sole plate and heel counter, which visually is identical to what you're going to find on the Magista Obra, but is actually a little bit more flexible in terms of the material they use. It's more of a standard TPU construction as opposed to a compressed nylon, which is what you're going to find on the top-end Magista Obra. I personally prefer the more flexible feel of the Opus, but again, it is more of a preference thing, and it's not something you're going to notice once you've kind of worn in both variations of this particular shoe. And of course, you do get the new Magista stud pattern, which is very similar to what you're going to find from the Tiempo line. Conical studs in the heel, conical studs in the forefoot, bladed support studs in the middle, and the one Mercurio-esque toe pick stud right there at the tip of the toe. So as far as firm ground stud patterns go on natural grass, you get a decent amount of grip at push-off because the actual profile of the studs are quite narrow, so they penetrate the ground quite easily, and because they are rounded, you get plenty of maneuverability and that freedom to twist and pivot when your foot is actually planted. So as far as traction goes, really big fan of the new Magista stud pattern, and again, the Opus is just a great shoe overall, often overlooked. And again, if you were a fan of the Maestri 3, you're looking for a suitable replacement, the Magista Opus is definitely the shoe to consider. As far as weight is concerned, despite how the Magista Opus might look and the overall marketing behind the shoe, one of the first things that you'll notice upon holding them in your hands for the first time is how incredibly light they actually are. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. Going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at a very lightweight 6.85 ounces, just under the 7 ounce mark, making this one of the lightest shoes of this particular type currently out there on the market. It's right on par with the Magista Obra, if not even a little bit lighter. It's very, very comfortable, and for a shoe that is as comfortable as the Magista Opus, it's one of the lightest for the comfort to weight ratio, if you will. So again, if you're looking for a nice replacement to the Maestri 3, not only is the Magista Opus going to offer a similar feel, it's also going to be about an ounce lighter than the Maestri 3 as well. So a really good package overall, and again, part of the reason why I think this shoe is extremely underrated. All right, so here's a look at the Nike Magista Opus on feet, and from right out of the box, these things feel really, really good. There is minimal break-in time required with this shoe, not only because the Kangalite synthetic itself is very thin and soft as it is, but because of the design where you have all the cutouts that's backed by just a thin layer of mesh. It's just really, really flexible right out of the box. Like I said, very, very minimal break-in time required. As far as the overall fit of the shoe is concerned, it's a very similar fit to what we found with the Maestri 3. So again, if you were a fan of the CTR 360 line, the Magista line pretty much takes on the exact same shape as far as fit is concerned. And as far as width goes, It is not the widest shoe, it's not a narrow shoe, it's kind of right there in the middle, so it will be suitable for most foot types. It does have a slightly tighter fit in the toe box and forefoot area, I would say, but again, it is Kangolite synthetic and very thin Kangolite synthetic, so you will get some stretch out of it after a couple hours of wear time. So they fit a little bit snug from out of the box. I wouldn't worry too much, and again, it's just going to be one of those shoes that will be suitable for most foot types. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing a size 9.5 US, which is half a size larger than my usual size 9 that I wear in, I would say, 90% of shoes, but the Magista line in general just seems to run a half size small, just like the CTR 360 line did. So instead of wearing my usual size 9, I went up to a 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would recommend sticking with the same size you wore in the CTR 360 line, or going a half size up if you're a first time person wearing the CTR 360s, or of course the new Magista Opus. So again, half size up is strongly recommended. All right guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Magista Opus. Again, a very underrated shoe if you ask me. It has all the performance qualities you could possibly want, especially for those who are fans of the CTR 360 Maestri 1, 2, and 3. Kangolite upper in combination with the performance mesh just feels really, really good. It's an extremely comfortable shoe that fits really well, and personally, I really like this brand new sole plate and stud pattern combo that they've incorporated on the Magista line. A nice improvement over what we got from the CTR 360. So again, if you're looking for a replacement of your Maestri 3s, there's no better option right now than the Nike Magista Opus. Definitely one of my personal favorite models that Nike is currently putting out. So again, if you guys want more information on the overall performance, be sure to check out the full written review on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. On that review page, not only will you find the full written review, you'll also find the high quality images of this exact shoe that I took myself that'll give you a better idea as to some of the close-up details that you won't necessarily see in the online stock photos. You'll also find buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes, allowing you to pick these up below their retail price in any of the currently available colorways, including the latest Shine Through Pack colorway that you saw in today's video. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment down below, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That'd be awesome. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.